Tonight I'm going to be shooting the Bering Optics Hogster-C thermal clip-on sight. It just clips on to the front of your daylight optic. This is a 1x 34 resolution sight. It comes with a 42mm objective lens, 17 micron pixel pitch, with a thermal sensitivity, net D of less than 50 mK, and recoil tolerance is substantial at 375 H&H. This is going to be mounted on a 6.5 Grendel with a 28-inch Liberty barrel, shooting Precision Firearms loaded Berger VLD-Hunting 130 grain ammunition, and I've got it mounted on a Miapta Optica 6 1:6 daylight optic, and the little tumor there on the front of this rifle is my mini digital video recorder, and it is needed because the Hogster-C itself does not record. Car basis when hunting up in North Texas.
Alright, well, it is twilight, still very bright outside. I can see these hogs out there at several hundred yards with my naked eye, and this is them for the thermal. So, waiting until it gets a little bit darker before trying to make my approach on them.
I've now driven several hundred yards across the property and parked the truck, and this is a view across the creek of the hogs.
These are hogs at about 345 yards.
Now what I'm showing you here is the complete view of the Hogster-C thermal sight. When you clip it on to a daylight scope, you only get a partial view, and I'm going to show you that here in just a minute. In the meantime, I made my approach across the creek, and the pasture on the other side is currently in hay operation. They're in the middle of cutting it. Now this is a pretty good rendition of what it looks like when I look through the daylight scope, seeing the Hogster-C thermal clip-on on the front of it. So this is my view. I've got an illuminated reticle with a nice red dot in the middle, which is really nice. As you can see, the weather conditions are not good at this point. The wind is blowing directly towards the hog, so I'm not going to have a lot of opportunity to wait around before shooting, so I'm going to go ahead and start now. The first hog goes down with a headshot. The second hog is hit with the first. And third shot's on it. And it's going to run up the hill and collapse. So he's going to be down at 175 yards, and the first hog is going to be down where it was shot at 125 yards. The first hog turned out to be just an 80-pound boar, and the second hog came in at only 100 pounds.
Brass Catcher by Tactical Brass Recovery.
Got back to the high point of the property, noticed hogs in the distance in the opposite direction. They're out there at about 779 yards according to the laser rangefinder on the infrared finder. Whereas previously I was on top of the hill, I'm now down at the bottom of the hill at a gate. And there you can see the road that I came in on. The hogs are out there at about 600 to 650 yards or so, and my goal is to get to them without disturbing the cattle, and that's going to be tough. Now I'm partway through the stalk at this point.
Okay, beyond the cattle are the pigs.
And now I finally moved up in the shooting position. I'm actually a lot closer than I would like to be. Looks like I'm going to be inside about 50 yards or so. So yeah, that's plenty close for me to be shooting. I like to be at about 100 yards normally. In typical fashion, I'm probably going to start with one of the larger hogs, probably one of the closer hogs, and that's going to be this one here on the right hand side of the group. Check back to see if there are any better targets, and I don't see anything that are any better, so here we go. She actually ended up running. The second sow, I missed with those two shots. The second shot ends up getting shot 3 times. And then I've got a Hail Mary on these guys. And that did it. On the first night I came away with this 80-pound pregnant gilt. She was pregnant with a total of 3 on board. And she was down there just at 55 yards. Came back the next day to look for the other hog. I've got vultures there in the distance. Walking up, getting a little closer. Finally came to the carcass of what appears to be about a 160-pound bloated sow. And here I left the hogs next to a power pole for the vultures to enjoy. Carpe sus, my friends.